Uh-oh, too late.
Okay,
Live,
I can answer
live
that.
on YouTube, Rev
Okay.
Wayne Stills. This mic is all yours.
Okay, how you doing, everyone? What's happening? Quick question. The text for the day. I wasn't sure. I want to make sure it's the right one because in my email I had two lessons instead of a lesson in the text. So 'cause that's what I usually
Yeah,
get.
hopefully you got a second email with the right stuff.
Oh, probably. I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't look for that. But no, you put the address there.
Yeah,
You put the address. I just want to make sure I got the right address, which was creating for self-image, right?
yes,
All right, fine.
yes.
So I got it. That's fine. I
You
want to
got it. You're right.
yeah, make sure I get the right one
Yeah,
because
that I don't know how I messed that up. I was like, oh my God, when I saw it, I'm like,
yeah,
I gotta fix
I
that
just
right
want to
away.
make sure that's all. So, all right, cool. So, what's up, everyone? How you doing? It's Reverend Wayne Stills, and today, as you know, it's lesson 24 and lesson 24, which is hold on. I have a couple of things about it. I have 1,000 tabs up here. But that's all right. I don't pursue my own best interests. I don't pursue my own best interests. Is today's lesson 24, which is always a humbling one, but it's a fun one because, well, I mean, I always like being told that I'm wrong. I'm stupider than I think, but it takes the pressure off me. That's always a nice reminder that I don't have to figure things out, and I can let go of trying to figure things out because. For instance, sometimes when I forget things what I'm talking about in the middle of a conversation, you say, oh, "What the hell was I talking about?" No one seems to remember either. And you can spend the time trying to figure it out, or you can let go trying to figure it out. And what you end up figuring and I end up realizing is that it's usually the same amount of time to figure it out. Well, you try or not, it comes to you in about a certain amount of time. If it's going to come to you, it comes to you anyway, and it comes to you in the same amount of time. Well, if you go and try to figure it out, don't try to figure it out, or try to figure it out. Either way, it's going to come to you. So I just let it go. Oh, well. And it's hard because for some reason you really want to know what were you thinking? What were you going to say? And it's never that important. It's usually just you think it is. And it's a good lesson because it stinks when it happens and you think it's really important and it's never that important. Um, and it's similar to life. Nothing's that important. Nothing's usually that important. But you struggle to think. You think things are, so you put your mother's value on it, and things are, and you don't forget, and you think you just continually think things are important. So forgetting probably is probably pretty cool. Probably better off just forgetting. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the text first, and it's creating versus the self-image. Creating versus self-image. This is the text. I'm gonna play the text, and then I'm gonna move over to the lesson. So. Let me just set this up.
Creating versus the self-image.
Hold on one second, everyone. There's something here. Oh, I know what it is. All right. All right. Let's start again. There we go. All right. Here we go. Writing with self-image.
Creating versus the self-image. Every system of thought must have a starting point. It begins with either a making or a creating, a difference we have already discussed. Their resemblance lies in their power as foundations. Their difference lies in what rests upon them. Both are cornerstones for systems of belief by which one lives. It is a mistake to believe that a thought system based on lies is weak. Nothing made by a child of God is without power. It is essential to realize this, because otherwise you will be unable to escape from the prison you have made. You cannot resolve the authority problem by depreciating the power of your mind. To do so is to deceive yourself, and this will hurt you because you really understand the strength of the mind. You also realize that you cannot weaken it any more than you can weaken God. The devil is a frightening concept because he seems to be extremely powerful and extremely active. He is perceived as a force in combat with God, battling him for possession of his creations. The devil deceives by lies and builds kingdoms in which everything is in direct opposition to God. Yet he attracts men rather than repels them, and they are willing to sell him their souls in return for gifts of no real worth. This makes absolutely no sense. We have discussed the fall or separation before, but its meaning must be clearly understood. The separation is a system of thought real enough in time, though not in eternity. All beliefs are real to the believer. The fruit of only one tree was forbidden in the symbolic garden. But God could not have forbidden it, or it could not have been eaten. If God knows his children, and I assure you that he does, would he have put them in a position where their own destruction was possible? The forbidden tree was named the tree of knowledge. Yet God created knowledge and gave it freely to his creations. The symbolism here has been given many interpretations, but you may be sure that any interpretation that sees either God or his creations as capable of destroying their own purpose is in error. Eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge is a symbolic expression for usurping the ability for self-creating. This is the only sense in which God and his creations are not co-creators. The belief that there is implicit in the self-concept, or the tendency of the self to make an image of itself. Images are perceived, not known. Knowledge cannot deceive, but perception can. You can perceive yourself as self-creating, but you cannot do more than believe it. You cannot make it true. And as I said before, when you finally perceive correctly, you can only be glad that you cannot. Until then, however, the belief that you can is the foundation stone in your thought system, and all your defenses are used to attack ideas that might bring it to light. You still believe you are an image of your own making. Your mind is split with the Holy Spirit on this point, and there is no resolution while you believe the one thing that is literally inconceivable. That is why you cannot create and are filled with fear about what you make. The mind can make the belief in separation very real and very fearful, and this belief is the devil. It is powerful, active, destructive, and clearly in opposition to God, because it literally denies his fatherhood. Look at your life and see what the devil has made. But realize that this making will surely dissolve in the light of truth, because its foundation is a lie. Your creation by God is the only foundation that cannot be shaken, because the light is in it. Your starting point is truth, and you must return to your beginning. Much has been seen since then, but nothing has really happened. Yourself is still in peace, even though your mind is in conflict. You have not yet gone back far enough, and that is why you become so fearful. As you approach the beginning, you feel the fear of the destruction of your thought system upon you as if it were the fear of death. There is no death, but there is a belief in death. The branch that bears no fruit will be cut off and will wither away. Be glad. The light will shine from the true foundation of life, and your own thought system will stand corrected. It cannot stand otherwise. You who fear salvation are choosing death. Life and death, light and darkness, knowledge and perception are irreconcilable. To believe that they can be reconciled is to believe that God and his Son cannot. Only the oneness of knowledge is free of conflict. Your kingdom is not of this world because it was given you from beyond this world. Only in this world is the idea of an authority problem meaningful. The world is not left by death, but by truth, and truth can be known by all those for whom the kingdom was created and for whom it waits. https://acim.org/acim/n/s/77 $1:1-6:11T 3.7.1:1, 6:11. 11.
Lesson 24. I do not perceive my own best interests. In no situation that arises do you realize the outcome that would make you happy. Therefore you have no guide to appropriate action and no way of judging the result. What you do is determined by your perception of the situation, and that perception is wrong. It is inevitable, then, that you will not serve your own best interests. Yet they are your only goal in any situation which is correctly perceived. Otherwise, you will not recognize what they are. If you realized that you do not perceive your own best interests, you could be taught what they are. But in the presence of your conviction that you do know what they are, you cannot learn. The idea for today is a step toward opening your mind so that learning can begin. The exercises for today require much more honesty than you are accustomed to using. A few subjects, honestly and carefully considered in each of the 5 practice periods, which should be undertaken today, will be more helpful than a more cursory examination of a large number. 2 minutes are suggested for each of the mind-searching periods which the exercises involve. The practice period should begin with repeating today's idea, followed by searching the mind with closed eyes for unresolved situations about which you are currently concerned. The emphasis should be on uncovering the outcome you want. You will quickly realize that you have a number of goals in mind as part of the desired outcome, and also that these goals are on different levels and often conflict. In applying the idea for today, name each situation that occurs to you, and then enumerate carefully as many goals as possible that you would like to be met in its resolution. The form of each application should be roughly as follows. In the situation involving blank, I would like blank to happen and blank to happen, and so on. Try to cover as many different kinds of outcomes as may honestly occur to you, even if some of them do not appear to be directly related to the situation or even to be inherent in it at all. If these exercises are done properly, you will quickly recognize that you are making a large number of demands of the situation which have nothing to do with it. You will also recognize that many of your goals are contradictory, that you have no unified outcome in mind, and that you must experience disappointment in connection with some of your goals, however the situation turns out. After covering the list of as many hoped-for goals as possible, for each unresolved situation that crosses your mind, say to yourself, I do not perceive my own best interests in this situation. and go on to the next one.
Alrighty. The text and the lesson. The text and the lesson. I'm tempted just to do the text today because I like it a lot, but I'll do the lesson. If only because the text is much longer. And I don't have much time. I only have about 10 minutes. Lesson is great though. So I'll see what the lesson. I don't see my own best interests, and it's a good one. As I said before, when I first got on, it's a very humbling one, especially when it seems to be there to show you how the exercises show you. It's not really a goal-getting exercise. It's not necessarily about getting your goals. It's about showing you how you can't really achieve your goals. Trying to achieve them is a messy affair at best, because we are messy and we are messy go-getters. We are messy can-doers. Our can-do spirit will get us into a messy situation at best. If we don't mind tumbling into our goals, stumbling into our goals, limping into our victories, as we would call them, then this exercise will help us do that. Help us notice that. But as opposed to having our eyes closed, thinking where they're open, and slamming into everyone and everything, and breaking our arms and breaking everyone else's arms and heads and so forth. This will open our eyes so we can sort of, with a smile on our face, just kind of limp our way into heaven, so to speak. Let's just start. This is mostly this lesson is mostly practical, but there is some theory, so I'll just start from the beginning, and then I might not talk too much, which is good for timing anyhow. So here we go.
Lesson 24. I do not perceive my own best interests. In no situation that arises do you realize the outcome that would make you happy. Therefore, you...
All right, so that starts out with the first line of Jesus kind of sums it all up. It's like a topic sentence. You know how they always hit the topic sentence should explain the entire article? Well, that topic sentence explains the entire article. In no situation, in some situations, or here and there, once in a while, in no situation that arises. So nothing, no image, no picture, no condition, no anything that arises. Do you realize the outcome that would make you happy? When you find yourself thinking about something, trying to figure something out, what should I do next? What do I do now? Don't worry about it. If you don't know what's going on, you don't know what to do next, you don't know how to figure things out. So you're gonna have to get help somehow if you want to accomplish something. You're gonna have to get help. And you're gonna have to look towards others, which could be a messy situation. Or look towards the spirit, which is really your only hope. And the only thing messy about that would be your inability to connect. Sending with others. And essentially do is connect to the spirit in others. You unmessify it together. Is that a word, unmessifying something?
You have no guide to appropriate action and no way of judging the result. What you do is determined by your perception of the situation, and that perception is wrong. It is inevitable, then, that you will not serve your own best interests. Yet they are your only goal in any situation which is correctly perceived. Otherwise, you will not recognize what they are. If you realized that you do not perceive your own best interests, you could be taught what they are.
Now, see that this is part of the key. One of the reasons why I wanted to read the text is that he talks a lot about the devil and the Garden of Eden and this kind of thing. And he kind of leaves that out, so to speak, in the lesson. But if it plays out, if you play it out and develop it, the text through the correlation of the lesson, the idea that we know what we're doing, the perception that through perception we can figure things out for real and understand knowledge and then know where we're going is the devil. That belief is the devil. I mean, he put the devil there for a reason. And it's not because that's the only thing they would have understood back in the 70s. He used the devil because he wanted everyone to understand that this is dangerous, this stuff. It gets us into trouble. It's knowing what we're doing, is getting ahead, trying to win out there. It's trying to achieve victories. As opposed to letting go of cause and effect. Letting go of our interests here. Sitting around and doing nothing is what we're better off just doing. And no matter what you're doing in actuality, sitting around in your heart and doing nothing. Permanent staycation. Vacation mind. One of those vacations where you're just sitting around doing nothing because you know that anytime you do something, you just screw it up because you're in no mood to do anything. The more you do, the less vacation works, the less joy you have. We're human beings and human doings.
But in the presence of your conviction that you do know what they are, you cannot learn. The idea for today is a step toward opening your mind so that learning can begin. The exercises for today require much more honesty than you are accustomed to using. A few subjects, honestly and carefully considered in each of the 5 practice periods, which should be undertaken today, will be more helpful than a more cursory examination of a large number. 2 minutes are suggested for each of the mind-searching periods which the exercises involve. The
large numbers are never, and there's never been any reason to hit the large when you can deal with the small. It always comes. All politics are local, so all you have to really do is hit the small, drop the seed into the middle of the lake, in the middle of the ocean, the sea, and then let the ripples take care of itself. It's always a good rule. I mean, there are no set rules, I suppose, but that's always a decent rule. To the extent you have a rule for yourself, then that's a good one. Always start from within. Always start closest to you. Always start with your own thoughts, and then move outwards. Otherwise, easy to get physical, too physical. And next thing you know, you think you know what you're doing. And then you know it's not you in charge anymore. It's the other side. It's the ego.
practice period should begin with repeating today's idea, followed by searching the mind with closed eyes for unresolved situations about which you are currently concerned. The emphasis should be on uncovering the outcome you want. You will quickly realize that you have a number of goals in mind as part of the desired outcome, and also that these goals are on different levels and often conflict. In applying the idea for today, name each situation that occurs to you, and then enumerate carefully as many goals as possible that you would like to be met in its resolution. The form of each application should be roughly as follows. In the situation involving blank, I would like blank to happen and blank to happen, and so on. Try to cover as many different kinds of outcomes as may honestly occur to you even if some of them do not appear to be directly related to the situation, or even to be inherent in it at all. If these exercises are done properly, you will quickly recognize that you are making a large number of demands of the situation which have nothing to do with it. You will also recognize that many of your goals are contradictory, that you have no unified outcome in mind, and that you must experience disappointment in connection with some of your goals, however the situation turns out. After covering the list of as many hoped-for goals as possible, for each unresolved situation that crosses your mind, say to yourself, I do not perceive my own best interests in this situation. And go on to the next one.
Isn't that awesome? The whole last part of it, he just now you get your goals set up, everything's set up for you nicely. Realize that all those goals are not really set up for you to actually the way that you have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what you're doing. Isn't that one of those situations where it's going to teach you how to get what you want? I'm not saying you shouldn't get what you want, but this exercise is not going to help you do that. This exercise, I mean, it might indirectly, but this is not what this exercise is about. This exercise is about telling you you don't know how to get anything you want. You don't know what you're doing. This world was not set up for you to get things that you want. It's set up for you to fail. And then if you're not going to fail, so take a little ingenuity. Take a little humble. Realize you don't know a thing, and then open up that soul of yours and take in the Holy Spirit. Let Him lead the way. That's about it. That's all I got for today. So tomorrow's my hour. Tomorrow's going to be a bigger day. So come by tomorrow at I think it's 12:30 Eastern, and I think that's the time. If not, Lynn will let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, everyone, God bless you, blessings, and I love you all, and peace.
Thank you so much, Wayne. And yes, 12:30 Sunday Eastern. So yeah, please come on in and join us. It'll be right after Zeta and I, and we're reading the Clares, the book about the Clares. So great, kind of building